think Terry's gonna make it.
Okay. I'll make a motion to open the November 21st, 2022 Water and Sewer meeting at 5, is it, I can't even see that.
5 past.
5 past 5.
I will second the motion.
All in favor? Okay.
All right. Well, we just got a couple things to go over tonight, I guess. I typed up the agreement for our interconnect with West Newbury. I modeled it after the agreement we have with Georgetown. It's pretty basic, just, outlines that if either of us are in need, the other town will give us water up to what they're approved to pull out of the ground by DEP. It's for a term of 10 years. At that point, we can review it again, and whoever's around at that point can either change it or just continue it. They're still looking to do the work in January. So we can just we'll get it signed by this board and their board, and we'll be good to go.
Was there a dollar amount? Or you're not, it's just gonna be an equal swap?
So I left it in there is at the current water rate for either town, or we can
Okay.
just swap. I didn't
Okay.
want to limit it just
Yep.
because
Okay,
it's for 10 years, so you never know what could happen.
right.
So that'll be good for that. We'll get that signed. Help out West Newbury for a couple weeks. The Haverhill wastewater agreement, that got sent to Copeland and Page, the town council, for review. Everything's done. They have to sign it. This board signs it, and the Board of Selectmen signs it, and then that'll get put to bed. Hopefully have that back and ready to go for our next meeting here.
So that wastewater is for just to do business back and forth?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah, the last agreement expired, so we have to redo it.
Okay.
I think this one's gonna be for 10 years.
All
So
right.
again, in 10 years, they'll get looked at again. And Copeland and Page is also reviewing what our options are for changing the water ban bylaw. So once we hear back from them, we'll be able to kind of see what we want to put forward at town meeting to change the bylaw. Outside of that, we have environmental partners working on proposals for the new water source that Ryan had come in and met with us a couple months ago, and also a proposal for working on our SCADA system, which is the, layman's terms, the computer system that runs the whole water system. They'll have both of those proposals ready for us for the next meeting, but we can, use that for budget season is upon us, so see where we're going to go moving forward with that. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's got any questions or anything that they wanted to talk about, but Terry had asked for a copy of our capital improvement plan, so I got copies for everybody.
Yep.
You can give it a read. Towards the end of it, there's like a chart that just kind of shows different projects, their estimated cost. That's a 2015 cost model, so those numbers are probably low. But it's worth looking at. You kind of get an idea of what we have ahead of us and what we want to do for work.
All right, the things that I was gonna go over is, did we ever get the trucks advertised yet?
So I had a question about, I started putting the ads together for
Yep.
them. One of the titles is a little questionable. I don't know. So one of the titles says that it's like a crew cab pickup truck, and it's the original title, and it's not a crew cab pickup truck. So I'm not sure how to deal with that, or if we just,
If the VAN numbers match
Mhm.
on the title and the truck,
Yep.
you should be fine.
Okay.
Yep.
So
You
yeah.
gotta make sure that matches.
Yeah, so all the VINs are correct
Yep,
and,
yep. That's it.
so I'm gonna get those posted
And
up on,
what you could do is call Groveland Police
okay.
and have them go out to the truck
Have
and
'em
just
run it.
have them sign. They have like an affidavit you can sign just saying it's all set.
Okay,
So when they do sell it, you can say it's been checked.
okay.
know
I'll
what I
talk to
mean?
the chief about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But, outside of that, I just gotta pop them onto Municipid.
okay.
And, see what they get.
Good.
Um,
And then the Summer Street update on that, the finishing up over there and the pipe work over there.
Yep, so we finished that up, a couple weeks ago now. We got, all the tie-ins are done, all the houses are connected, all the temporary paving is done. We got all our stuff out of there. So the water aspect of it is done. We're leaving the erosion control along the road until they pave it, just because they're gonna need it, so.
So is the water on to the people?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we decommissioned, we pulled out all the old fire hydrants. The old water main stayed in the ground, but that's been cut and capped and is not tied in anymore. So everyone's over onto the new
Oh, good.
water main now. That went well. Versus what we had it estimated at, if we had hired a company to come in and do the whole thing, it was estimated at about $640,000, and we did it in-house with our local contractor for less than 300. So that's a huge savings for the ratepayers and the town people. So that was pretty good.
Did you ever get a hold of Dawn Sign?
I called them and left them a few messages, and
Right.
she hasn't got back to me.
All right, 'cause I called her and she said she hadn't heard.
Yeah.
I was talking about want me to mention it to her
If
again?
you want to, yeah.
All right, I'll mention it to her. Do you have a logo? Something?
We do. I was looking to change it to just
Okay.
have it
All right,
words.
all right, I talked to her a couple times.
Okay.
and I'll mention to her, because she said, but there's 3 girls in the office, and one of them might have not gave her the message.
Yeah, I did notice that there was 3 different contacts.
Yep.
I only
So-
picked one, but
And the last thing I had was the building that they were talking about, maybe taking over the old filtration building over there. Any news on that at all?
so we got we had to get an appraisal done.
Yep.
So that just came back. Mike Dempsey just got that done. So now they're in talks or starting to talk with the church about, what their idea is for how much they want for it. And then,
And that could be doable as far as changing it over to a filtration.
potentially, yeah. We'd have to, ultimately it all comes down to how much money they want for it. So,
Right, right.
well, yeah, I mean, I think it is a viable option. Worst case scenario is we have a big garage to keep all our stuff in. But if we do go down the treatment road, it could potentially be a facility that we wouldn't have to build because it's already
Right.
there. So I'll keep you updated with what the church has going on with the discussions with Mike and Rebecca, and see where it will lead.
And then the other thing I had is, do you have anything projected for next year as far as projects?
So that's what these the 2 proposals that Ryan's putting together.
Yep.
For the well search,
Yep.
for if we're gonna drill a well or well exploration,
Yep.
and then the SCADA system upgrade. We're waiting to see back. We got like a preliminary number for what we have for retained earnings. We should have that, the official one, within a couple weeks, I think.
December 5th.
So.
So
by
there,
Dec-
there wouldn't be any money to do any kind of like upgrading it like you did over here? Another road or,
Potentially. We'll have to, I want to see what these ones are going to cost, and then, that'll dictate how, if we want to bond something and borrow money to do another project versus trying to pay for it with what we've accrued in the bank.
and that project over there was paid by
We borrowed the money for.
Oh, you borrowed the money?
Yeah.
And how long will that be to be paid off?
So right now they're doing what's called a bond anticipation notice. So
Yep.
it's basically they're doing like short-term 1-year loans
Yep.
until they can get enough borrowing within town to kind of make it like one big loan,
Okay,
and we'll get a more favorable term.
yep.
So we haven't officially even,
You don't know
Borrowed that
what's
yet.
gonna happen.
yeah.
Is it worth doing another road or another bad road, going that same route, or?
Potentially. So a lot of the projects that are high on this list, we can't do because they're in the roads that the DOT just paved, so we can't dig them up. We could look at it and try to find like the next higher one down, the highest one that we could do. Off the top of my head would probably be like Balch Ave or Wood Street. But right now, there's still a pretty good shortage of pipe. I'm still hearing 36 to 52 weeks for pipe.
Wow.
So we no one can buy pipe right now.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. So we can look at doing one. We can see what it would cost, and if we want to borrow it. If we borrow it, we'd have to raise the water rates to
Yeah, yeah.
to pay it. So I think historically we had kind of tried to do a project, wait a year or two, and then do another project if we're going to be borrowing money for it, just to kind of ease the rate increases on the customers.
I wonder if we ever go to town meeting, spring or not fall, whatever, if we put something in there asking the people what they would be thinking,
Ye-
what their plans, would they discolor water, or what, you know,
Yeah,
try to get a survey, what they're thinking.
Yeah, so we had talked before about putting some type of questionnaire in with a water bill.
Yep.
So I think it would be a pretty good idea to try to put one of those together. You know,
Right.
come together as a group and come up with a few questions that
Right.
we can put in the envelopes.
So maybe next meeting we can do that for an agenda item?
Yeah.
That way there we can kind of get a good idea what the residents are thinking.
Yeah, I think we can put together some questions, see what the general consensus is for our customer base, and see if that steers us in one direction, or, you know, for all we know, it could be scattered across the board, and
Right.
but you don't know until you ask, so
Mhm.
we can come up with something. Other than that, that's all I got. Patrick, you got anything?
No, I'm
Not
not.
really. That's a lot of information to digest in that report.
Yeah. No, I don't have any questions specific.
All right, so that's probably it.
Yeah, that's all I got. Heather, you got anything? Oh, we need
Another
anything
meeting.
signed?
Yep,
No? Okay.
just if they want to do the agreement.
Yeah, so if the two of you wanted to sign the West Newbury agreement,
Yep.
then we can just track down Terry at all.
Do you want to just sign one of them, or do you want to?
Yeah, one of them would be probably the best.
Okay. I'll pass it over, I'll sign it.
Yep.
And then we should probably talk about another meeting.
Yeah, so what? Even know what
Christmas
day it is.
Eve?
Yeah,
Thank you.
tough attendance that night, I think. You want to shoot for like the beginning of January, just so we're not near Christmas?
Yep, or right after January 1st.
Let's see. How about January 9th?
January 9th at 5 PM.
Sounds good to me.
Got it.
All right.
So we'll make a motion to close the meeting at 5:20.
I second it.
All right.
All in favor?
Hey.
Excellent.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming down.